Hey guys, it's Cody with Indie Game Pulse, where we bring you the hottest indie games with the coolest memes. Today I was streaming Skul the Hero Slayer, and I wanted to get out a full review of the game, but because of my busy life right now, I don't have time to fully beat the game and get out a review today. But thank you to the developer, NeoWiz, for getting me a review code, So here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give some quick first impressions of the game from playing it for a couple hours, just kind of in a conversational video. I don't have a script. I don't have points drawn out that I want to talk about. So these are just kind of my quick hits of what's good about the game, what's not great about the game. So let's get into it. And if you're new here and you want to find out about the newest and best indie games and hear genuine reviews from an indie game fanatic like yourself, click the subscribe button and notification bell to make sure you don't miss another video. Let's get into it. So, story-wise, you play as a character called Youngbone, Slimbone. I think it's Youngbone. Littlebone. It's Littlebone. I told you guys I don't have a script, so bear with me. We're gonna make this quick. You play as Littlebone. Your Demon King has been captured by the evil human forces, and you've been tasked with going to the Carleon castle to free him and save the demon races, I suppose, or the skeletons. So your character can take off his head, put on another head. That's really the main mechanic of the game, is finding different heads or skulls that have different power-ups and different abilities. And if you can find two that work really well in sync together, they have different power-ups on time delays, and then also different power-ups when you switch to a different head or a different skull. So the gameplay in Skul the Hero Slayer is rogue-lite. Light as in fewer calories and no sugar. There are permanent upgrades or persistent upgrades that you can buy with the dark quartz that you find throughout the game. And also other things that you collect throughout the levels are bones, which you can get by destroying skulls that you don't want, or destroying items that you don't want to. And those can be used to give like a permanent strength upgrade to you, I believe. I only did it once in my couple hours of playing, and it seemed like that's what it did. Some of the upgrades could be a little bit more clear on what they are. I was just kind of guessing a lot of the time. But in some regards I enjoy that, like having to intuit and kind of discover what the game is about and what different power-ups do what. Another thing that I will mention, there's different colored doors that you can go through. One of them is like orange with flames around it. The other is more reddish with flames and chests and kind of, I don't know, loot around it. That one tends to be more skulls and more like equipment upgrades. The green kind of door that you see on the right hand of your screen now, that's more like magical upgrades. At least that's what it seems like to me. And then just the standard one with flames and like no loot around it, that's just gathering gold for upgrades at the shops along the way. So here's something that I didn't particularly enjoy about my first couple hours in Skul the Hero Slayer, and that is the melee combat. So these guys that are about your size, if you just go up to them and keep wailing on them, they're not gonna fight back unless they get out of your attack range. Like there's no reason to kind of, you know, go in, attack, and then jump back. It's just, you can go in and beat the crap out of them until they're dead. Now, the bigger guys, they're a different case. And also there's some kind of magic characters that have ranged attacks or magic attacks. Like you can see some fire falling from the top here. Well, I think that's actually just a trap, like an environmental trap. But the melee combat seems a little bit OP, at least early game, but hey, maybe that's just how they designed it. But it does make a little bit of a grind or a slog right up front. I do want to mention too, the art style and the music both really impressed me. This kind of pixel art, I mean, it is pixel art, but you kind of have the two layers, like the foreground and the background. The foreground is just, it's breathtaking. The pastel kind of colors really go well with the kind of calm music and the soundtrack too. I was not expecting this kind of style, and I talked about it a bit in my stream. I was expecting a little bit more kind of dark and gloomy. Again, that's, you know, I've never seen anything about this game that I'm aware of. So yeah, this really surprised me, and yeah, I'm really impressed with the look of it. One final thing that frustrated me just a little bit is that sometimes there would be these dark quartz floating on the ground, but no matter how many times you cross over them, you couldn't pick them up. I don't know what the deal is with that. It seems like after almost a year in early access, something like this would have been picked up on and fixed. But here's hoping that they fix it in, you know, their next kind of bug update. Overall, I think the gameplay in Skul it's pretty decent. The boss fight is really pretty difficult. You have to have kind of a certain setup to do it. I tried it with like a slower movement setup, and it's not cut out for that. And that's just like the first big boss. There's way more beyond that I haven't gotten to. Hopefully we'll take a look at that in my full review. But the gameplay it's fun. The best part of the gameplay is finding the different builds in, you know, typical roguelite fashion, finding the different skulls, which ones work, which ones don't work for you. And then also combining different items and buying upgrades, buying permanent upgrades. All that stuff works really well. The story is funny, it's interesting, it's a little bit cliche, but it's almost like self-aware cliche, like they kind of poke at that too. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to checking this one out more. I hope, you know, if you guys are able to take a look at it, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think of Skul the Hero Slayer. But again, I'll get more into it next week in my full review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your time and just everyone who stopped by the channel and checks it out. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button for more indie game countdowns and reviews. Thank you as well to my now 114 subscribers for your continued support. I'm really looking forward to my thank you video coming up early next week. Stay tuned for that. And for more indie game countdowns and reviews, check out the videos on your screen now, and I'll see you on the other side.